Hey, are you all ready to get this started?
Going live.
Listener discretion is advised.
Keep your head out there. They're going to do dumb. Play our game. All right? Play hard, but stay poised.
3, gonna be savage. 2, grab your shit. 1, do it.
Let's be great. Let's be great.
John, there's a second and 17 in the first half that Mitch throws a long ball to Dontrell, and he's slow to get up. It looked like you guys sent the punt team on, or O'Donnell and Depot kind of came on.
I'm not sure what they were doing. We got that cleared up pretty quickly, but
you guys called timeout. You looked like you had 10 men. We're short. What happened in that sequence?
I don't recall. I don't think we called timeout. I don't recall that being an issue. I think it was just, and if it wasn't because of that, because that wasn't really a factor. It might have been because we were lined up. That's what it was. We were backed up and we were lined up wrong.
This is Bears Are Alive with Draft Dr. Phil Ottochian. I am Aldo Gandia, and you just heard another of those weird, awkward moments that Bears head coach John Fox has had during his tenure here in Chicago. In this one, which happened Monday today, he brushed aside a coaching mistake by revealing that his team lined up wrong to kick a punt. That's 2 mistakes on one play, and then Fox forgot his team called a timeout when recalling what happened. That is another testament to the truly inept world of the mumbling, grumbling, stammering, stumbling work of John Fox. Let's bring in the star of the show and the lyricist of the line I just screwed up, Draft Dr. Phil Ottochian. Phil, how are you?
Aldo, living the dream, up in the East Coast, 10 o'clock at night, coming on the air. You wait a long time to get to the point where you take, I take to tweeting, as you say, in the middle of the game as if I'm coaching and directing the truth. That's how I look at it, calling it for what it is, and really, I did not hear the sound bite at all until you just played it, only just to get the real truth and reaction from it. But if that's not a coach backpedaling on the showcase of, just complete ineptness of a coaching staff, I don't know what you have to do. It's, a child painting up or coloring outside the lines, and they're a young kid, and you kind of praise the kid for getting the colors right. At some point, this coaching staff has to get the colors in the line. They just haven't been able to do it, and it really is a reflection of the head coach, the performance that I saw. When you go into a football game where you're playing the best or the possible best team in the NFL right now, and you go into the game and you have pride and you have a plan and you take ownership of that and you are maniacal in the attempt to not only win the game but be in the game, as he always says, plays in. We want to be in the game. Well, you can't be in the game if your plan is just to throw stuff against the wall to see what sticks there. And it really was a disheartening moment. As disheartening as it was to see Mike Glennon as your, evaluated starter coming out of preseason, for me, to see the culmination of truth behind the curtain of this coaching staff really just put everything on the table. There's just nowhere to hide. There was an intervention, a coaching intervention that transpired, and Doug Peterson called John Fox on all his garbage and really embarrassed him in the process. And it really showcases how far away you are because of your coach. And I think tonight really needs to be the foundation of the truth show, which we always believe in, that this team, talent-wise, is not as far away as these bloggers, these beat writers, and this national narrative is telling you they are. The coach is the biggest issue. It's become great for me. I have so much to use creatively because of this coach. I could write so many songs and have so much fun doing it.
We're going to talk about some new songs a little later, but don't give it away yet.
So much can be had there, but really, ultimately, when it comes to the energy and time that fans and players and scouts and general managers and people around the league put into the game, to get to game day should be the fun time. It should be the time where you measure yourself against the best. And really, John Fox not only pissed down his leg, he probably started the bus, changed the flat tires, got everybody going, and then apparently there was the plane couldn't take off, so they got to stay there and sit there in a bunch of losers on the tarmac thinking about what transpired, because Bear fans live and die with this team, and it's unfortunate that this ownership has really invested in knowing that this fan base is so strong that they could relax and put their feet up. That's why we are asking people to rise up, stand up, just like you saw one of the Barflies go into the game and bring in their Fire Fox sign, who, by the way, I went out of my way. I always stand up for the Truth Barflies and loyal listeners and lovers of this podcast and obviously this show. Aldo Gandia, 2 years ago, started this Fire Fox campaign, brought the picture to the stage, talked about it. Bunch of Barflies you've seen for years. Sandy Tom, I can think off my head, and others having the Fire Fox sign as their AVI from Bears Barroom influences. Let's now all of a sudden the national media is drumming up this, and I know I'm going off on a tear this way, but I think it needs to be said because it is a show about the truth, and I think you deserve credit, Aldo, for not only recognizing the calm before the storm, but really ultimately the creativity that continues to come out of this family that we're building here, because it continues to grow, and the Fire Fox mantra really is started through the Bears Barroom family and you, Aldo, and that's why I put it in the lyric, and that's why it's out there now. I just really bothered me seeing it today like it's a new thing. No, my boy did this 2 years ago, and let's let Barflies stand up for that truth too. A little thing, but little things matter to me, and I know my colleague Shayne Marsaw. We kind of get fired up with these things. You know, when people are lying and are fraudulent, we call them out. When people should be praised, we're going to make sure we praise them too. We're not all about negativity, and I'll be the first one to give people credit. And Aldo, you know, it's been so much stress, but that luster of fun coming off of that, what do we call it, that old piece of pumpkin pie that is Fire Fox. You know, we've been able to sweeten it up a little bit with some whipped cream, because it really took stage, and I'm glad it's there, and really I just wanted to get that off my chest.
Well, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, I hated John Fox from the very day I heard his voice at the Bears introductory press conference. I just posted that in the chat room. And speaking of the chat room, we've got a overflowing house in the chat room. All sorts of people there. I just want to read a couple of their opening comments. Bob Phelan said, "What's up, fellow pissed off mofos?" Bearded Bears fan says, "How the F is Fox still our coach? He's clearly lost a locker room." Brandon Janoski says, "Might have lost a locker room, but damn sure he hasn't lost his virginity." Lucky Kurt says, "I'm deflated knowing Fox is finishing this season." Brian Quinn says, "I just hope he doesn't ruin Mitchell." And that is
that's where we gotta
biggest
go.
concern, Phil, isn't it? I mean, I'm seeing a quarterback who looks demoralized, who looks like he's losing his confidence. His mechanics have gotten worse as the season has gone on, and I wonder if that is because he's being overpreached about protecting the ball. And when you are concentrating so much about placing the ball in an area where it's not going to be intercepted, or you're just worrying so much about making a mistake as opposed to being a Jedi Knight and letting the Force be with you, you're going to start reverting to mistakes that you made in high school and in college. Am I right or am I wrong, Phil?
Oh, you're right. I mean, you look at it in life. I always would talk to my players and use analogies as you all joke around. I would just throw them out there. But you look at a marriage. You know, some marriages are really great, and your wife or your significant other, because we're not biased or prejudiced on this show, you know, are best friends. And then there's other marriages that, through the test of or the course of time, that level of conservativeness, or they don't want you to be, you know, happy, or whatever it is that you enjoy, you can't do it together. For whatever reason, people grow apart. But when you have someone constantly in your ear kind of downing your ability to be who you are as a quarterback, then of course you're going to start to overthink the process instead of react and use what God gave him, and that's the ability to throw with anticipation, the ability to use its athleticism and get him outside the pocket and make plays that he's comfortable with. And really, I think I'm never going to push the panic button, because you got to tap the brakes, but it's definitely recognizable fear about what he's doing every play, having to be perfect. He alluded to it last week about what John Fox, and we made a big discussion on 100 Proof, what he's allowing us to do. And then this week you're seeing him talk about his teammates if they're wanting to win. This is a rookie having to look around the locker room on a team that is clearly quit on the head coach. And really, ultimately, there's three parts to this, because we got to get into it. And I know the fan base and the Barflies are fired up, and I am too. There's a Ryan Pace piece. What the hell is he doing? Why is John Fox still the head coach? I tweeted out he should have been fired after the Green Bay loss. We were all in unison. You know, as much as we've been hounding, you know when the time is right and what isn't working, hasn't been working. He's had 3 wins in the division for 3 years. I mean, what is he going to do in the last few weeks of this football season to change your mind? There's no doubt from the people I know he's gone on Black Monday. It's not even a worry for me. I've said this on the show 2 weeks ago, Aldo. I'll say it again. It's not a worry for me. I'm not going to be up worrying like I would normally. But there's no losing in letting us see and letting your team see what Vic Fangio could do. And I spoke to someone tonight familiar with the Bears and really into it, and he made a good point to me in saying, The only reason why they would be reticent to fire Fox, name Vic the head coach, is if they've already have a guy they want to hire as the next head coach, and all of a sudden Vic Fangio goes out there and really lights up the fact that he should be the head coach, and now you got a problem for what it is they have planned moving forward. I never really thought about that, but this guy is really tuned in and really made that great point. I didn't think of that. So there's an answer to some of the questions that fans, why not now? The same thing I have, why not now? To me, though, if Vic Fangio goes out there and lights it up, then that's a win for the Chicago Bears in my mind. And that's a win for this organization because you have somebody that's going to come in here, take that pressure off of the young quarterback, take the pressure off the team, and put everybody on notice. You saw players quitting, Aldo, on the football field. I did. I saw poor technique through 3 quarters until almost the end of the third quarter. There was a mess up on every offensive play. Every single play. This is week, where are we now, Aldo? Week 12?
Yes, sir.
And you have players on an offense screwing up every single play. Now, I know Philly's a good football team, but come on, guys. That right there is coaching. You're just throwing them out there, and you're asking them to do what you want to do instead of game planning and finding their weakness and holding players accountable for their play. That has not happened under Fox. I was fooled. Let's completely be the first one to know and eat crow and say I thought he was going to come in here, clean house, bring coordinators and other coaches that are building up to be coordinators. He had a habit of being the mayor of coaches and really finding these young offensive coordinators and helping them, and defensive coordinators for that matter, and helping them become head coaches. He cleaned up locker rooms. He built talent. He doesn't have it. He's collecting a check. He doesn't care. His comments about he could give a rip about job, that should be fired today with Pace. So for me, I have a lot of questions. Obviously, I gave you one of the answers from another person giving us a directive on the Bears, but really, ultimately, as we go back to talk about Trubisky, yes, it's there. I feel like the head coach is a huge problem and a huge black cloud over this football team. Look at the situation in and of itself. 4th and 3, your boy here, if you're following me, if you're not following me, you need to. But if you are following me very closely on game day, I'm sitting there tweeting out 25 seconds before this 4th down and 3 play. Now, you got to go for it now. You're a 3-win football team. Whenever I saw him lining up for the field goal, Aldo, mind you, with a kicker coming off an injury in a windy stadium, with his first attempt as a Chicago Bear from 53 or 54 yards out, that's coaching errors. That's stupidity. You started off the show with the quote of him completely lying again, mumbling, grumbling, stumbling, fumbling. This is John Fox all the time lying to you, saying they didn't. No. You called a timeout, mind you, after an injury. The game is stopped. You should be game planning the next play. It was 3rd down. You somehow, during the injury timeout, forgot it was 3rd down, sent the punt team on the field only to have some other assistant. No, coach, it's 3rd down. What are we doing? Oh, shoot, called the timeout. That's what really happened. Yes. And instead, you're trying to save face by saying, oh, no, you can't cover up. That's what I can't stand. Take ownership of it. I have so much more respect for you if you say, you know what, we really messed up there. How many fans would be forgiving? I would think at least 50% would. But you've dug yourself a bottomless hole here. And it really affects the young quarterback. I don't give a shit what anybody tries to tell you. Any stat nerd out there playing his keyboard, mathematical numbers, trying to tell you how. Coaching is a whole different mental ball game. Mitchell Trubisky, as Aldo said, you're 100% right. He's overthinking this because he's afraid to make a mistake and let his teammates down, who, mind you, quit on their head coach and their offensive coordinator and his predictability. Jordan Howard, Aldo, less carries than Benny Cunningham. Is there something wrong with that picture? Your best offensive player? I can't make this up. If I tried, I wouldn't have believed it. I predicted prophetically that Adam Shaheen would somehow take a step back in their game plan, and that transpired, and the score transpired. I just did not see the Jordan Howard ghosting going on. It was incredible to me.
Yeah, I can't disagree with a single word you said. I just want to let our audience know that we are hoping that Shayne Marsaw will join us a little later in the show like he did last week. He's en route home from work, I believe. So if he joins us in time, we'll definitely get his opinions here. It might go a little long if that happens. So stick with us. I want to read a couple of comments from the chat room. Bears AJ, who has changed his moniker temporarily, I believe, to Go Die John Fox, writes that since the McCaskies burned 3 seasons of Pace's career, do you think that he gets 3 more seasons with his choice of head coach? And Phil, you were among the first to report that perhaps, it looked like the Ernie Arcasey and the Phillips crew and McCaskey kind of forced Fox on Pace. And if that's the case, you got to believe that they're going to let him pick his new head coach and give him 2 or 3 seasons with the new head coach. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got it confirmed. Some of you don't know. Some of you do know. My uncle coached the Cleveland Browns, late 70s, early 80s, head coach, had very understanding of Ernie Accorsi. And we'll just say he doesn't have nice things to say about Ernie. So in the back rooms of the Old Boys Network, and Greg Gabriel tweeted it out as well, confirming what I've heard, that Ryan Pace was forced to hire John Fox. He should get an opportunity to hire his guy. I've confirmed Quinn and Bowles were the guys that they were going to choose from with Ryan Pace's decision there. So you see where those teams are. Quinn was at Hofstra with me. Hofstra guy. It's just the world. It's a small world sometimes and a big scale that many of these people throw things at you. But really, ultimately, when you're looking at Ryan Pace, you can look at this roster in one glance based on the record, and then you could look at it from a coaching standpoint and recognize there's no way they should have went on that football field as unprepared and as ugly as it was based on the talent they have on this football team. This is a coaching issue. Ryan Pace, for his negative drafts, he's had positive drafts. You could play verbal tennis here with some of the players and the misses. That's life in the NFL. You're going to have it. Has he been the greatest GM? No. But am I saying let's get rid of this guy? No. I believe you have to give Ryan Pace an opportunity to interview and hire the next head football coach for this football team. There's a lot of talent here. There's a young quarterback here. As I tweeted out, if you think that this kid is being groomed well with John Fox as the head coach, then I think you're buying a bridge in Arizona again with Shayne Marsaw and Matt Miller over there, because that is just not happening. There's just no concern about him, and that's the troubling thing. That's why I'm shocked that a move wasn't made, but I think I gave you the answer of what it is that they have going on at Hatless Hall. And really, ultimately, Aldo, this concerns me, because if he has the authority to come around and say, listen, we need to build this brand new state-of-the-art facility to get free agents here and get, to where we want to be with the future of the franchise. As I said, they're taking virtual snaps at Hallis now. Now, what else are they bringing here? If this guy has the power to the 3.5 million or billion, whatever they're, I don't think it's billion, so it's $3.5 million renovation at Hallis Hall. You're telling me he can't fire the head coach? Then that is a huge issue as a GM, because you're really not going to get the right people again by the hindering of upper management. And if you have that, like a head coach that's hindering the growth and the process of his young football team, if you have people like Ted Phillips and George McCaskey saying no, and having guys like Ernie Accorsi coming in here and leading you to John Fox and the old white boy network, then this team is where it is because of those decisions. Don't fool yourself. And that's ultimately here. They've made a step in a direction to get a young football mind here who's done a decent job. Now we need to see someone who's maniacal as a head coach, that every play matters to them. The irony here, so good for the Barflies to see, is that play that transpired in a critical moment on the field. The field goal play, as well as the timeout used after a timeout on the field for an injury, because you don't know. That is the unveiling of the wizard behind the curtain to show you how far away this coaching staff is from helping this football team be a contender. And Ryan Pace really needs to do something about that and go to management and threaten. Your job is on the line. I would have more respect for you, and I know myself how I would handle it just through my interactions with my family. There's no way someone who's a penny pusher is going to tell me how I should run the football team and coach them up, because I know, I'm confident that they are going to be prepared every single game day, Friday, Saturday, whatever, Sunday. Now you see what you got in Fox and Aldo. I mean, it couldn't be less obvious to the human eye that how unprepared this football team is. They won on the legs of Jordan Howard against three of the better teams in the NFL. All of a sudden, you're going against the best team in the NFL, and Jordan Howard is Benny Cunningham better get in here. He better get his carries. I can't make it up. It's so bad. They give you so much great to talk about them with, because the ammunition is never ending.
Well, Dustin Padilla makes a really good point. He says that the Bears wouldn't even fire Mark Trestman during the season. I doubt they will do that with Fox. And I really thought that Fox's number was up last night after that pathetic loss in Philadelphia. The plane was stuck in the tarmac for 3 hours. I thought Ryan Pace was just going to be so fed up that he'd get to Hallis Hall and immediately call Fox and say, get the hell out of here. But it did not happen. Fox came out again with another weird stumbling, grumbling, mumbling, fumbling press conference, and it really, really angered me that happened. I stayed away from Twitter most of the day because I just knew I was going to go on a rant, but I'm going to save that for tomorrow's 100 Proof show.
Well, one point to that, this is where we have a problem. George is saying he stays out of football decisions. Teddy's saying he stays out of football decisions. I know where my colleague Shayne stands. I don't see any validity here that the McCaskies won't. They fired and they won't clean house with Trestman with a contract, they said. And Phil Emery, they won't. They did. They won't sign free agents. They have. They won't. I always hear they won't. So now the question begs, and you can't have lunch with Larry and Jeff Joniak asking a GM who needs to come out questions that are just preordained questions. Here they are at breakfast, before lunch, and here's my questions I'm going to ask you, Ryan. Please answer them. No, it needs to be sit down with Ryan Pace and ask him here's question 1. And Barflies, you could chime in with your question for Ryan Pace. Through this 3-year of seeing this approach that you've had with the guy you hired, John Fox, is this good enough for you? Answer. Wait for the answer. No help. Let him answer that. Then he gives you a slab of crap. Then you come back with, is this the 3 wins that you've beaten your division? 3 wins in 3 years against the Lions, Vikings, and Packers. Only 3. Worse than Tressman, worse than Lovey, worse than every coach in the last 25 years. Worse than everyone. Everyone, Aldo. There's no one's worse than Fox.
Yep.
How does he still have a job today, Ryan Pace? It's disgusting. Somebody has to answer it. I know they were asking John Fox. What is Fox going to say? He's saying the dumbest crap to football decisions. He's going to have an answer to you, and Akeem Hicks comments. What do you think if I'm on national television and I work for the government and my boss is listening or everybody's listening and they ask me, well, what do you think about your boss? I love her. She's the greatest. I can't stand her, though. That's the reality of truth. I mean, let's not placate this. When you offer your love for a head coach, it's written all over your face. It's in a hug. It's in a carry off the field. It's in a high five. It's in a pat on the back. So really, ultimately, the player's performance is a reflection of the head coach. I've always been taught that and lived that. And it is the truest poetic justice that you'll ever see. What you saw on Sunday was a disgusting display of football for a fan base that traveled, whoever. I always talk about the fans all over the world for the Bears and the Barroom all over the world, Aldo, supporting the show, the Bears, having the passion for it, staying up late into their nights to watch it, and all the Barflies in this great country, loving this football team, deserve better. You deserve better than that. And really, ultimately, Pace, George, and Teddy can't be at a post-season press conference telling you it's going to be all right. We're done with that. We want action. We want a change now. And you know what would change, Aldo, real quick? Dustin and the Barflies. As an interim head coach comes in and heads are going to roll, because Vic does not take any crap. Vic is going to tell it and call a spade a spade. He's going to say what's going on, and players are going to be rolling. Do you think performances are going to go up? Game days are going to be better? Performance on the football field, job security? Your family's livelihood is on the line. There's only 22 spots to play over here. Do you want to play in the NFL? Then you're going to play your butt off for me, because I've wanted an opportunity to be a head coach, and here's the stage for me, and it matters. Why not that? That is the slight I have against this organization. McCaskey's, Ryan Pace, all of them go under the umbrella of it. And it needs to be spoken. It needs to be asked of Ryan Pace. Who has the authority? Stop with his nice parted haircut, nice fade, edge up. looking pretty, Abercrombie and Fitch guy, you know. No. I want football answers, not Larry Mayer asking the damn effing question. I want a football guy to ask, how is this okay? It's not. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting that was what you put on tape. And when Akeem Hicks, not on a radio show, says the Phil moniker that I live by with my football team, anytime I have ever had a performance where I didn't play my best, I lived by the moniker. Take a goddamn look in the mirror and ask yourself if you gave everything you had. Because if you didn't in a team sport, then you've let down your teammates, yourself, and what you put on tape. And you've let down this organization, and that is the Patriot way. That is the championship way. And this organization is run like a nursery school, preschool program, getting toddlers ready to play flag football. That's what this administration and this coaching staff is giving you. And it's happened so long that somebody has to come in here and take the football team to where it was with George Halas, who had a plan and didn't have enough money for practice jerseys for his football team and thought professional football would work. And everyone laughed because the college game was where it was at. Get back to that blood and sweat and tears where it mattered. It mattered to the family to put ends meet on the table. This franchise is living off the passion that you have. Don't show up to the game. Watch it on TV. If you go to the game, bring the Firefox sign. Bring a sign that says you're tired of it. Let them know. This is disgusting. This is year 3. Year 3. And we're at the point where we're at the midway game against a great team and you fail.
I'm with you. I'm going to be at the Bears 49ers game on Sunday, so I'm going to think of something just per your orders, Phil. I'm going to bring my boombox again and play Firefox and Section 301, wherever the hell I'm sitting. I got really good seats, so maybe I'll do that. That would be awesome. Listen, Phil, I got to read a few things here. You're talking about the passion of Chicago Bears fans, and you know our man Nick Kurtz, who was with me when we were outside ESPN, he writes here, my 5-year-old keeps asking me, is Fox fired yet? What the F, Bears? What am I supposed to tell him? I'm going to bring him to Halas Hall so that he can explain it. Fox will say, it's, I don't really give a rep. So I want the higher ups to explain it to me, to him, to my 5-year-old, because I can't anymore. And then bearded Bears fan replies, Lucky, I feel you. I hate telling my son week after week when he asks if the Bears won. No, they lost, buddy, again. Isaiah Robles asked, Phil, are the Bears in danger of losing its fan base? I saw it last year, and looks like it's getting worse. Before you answer that question, Phil, I want to read an email that we got from Brandon. You got it. I got it. You probably haven't had a chance to read it yet because you've been working on something very special that we're going to announce at the end of the show. But let me read what he wrote here, and just give me 30 seconds here. It's a few paragraphs.
Absolutely.
Like the sweet Earth, Wind, and Fire 1970s song, September, do you remember? And I'm going to play a little of that music in the background here and make it really cool. Do you honestly remember a time since John Fox was your head coach that you woke up on a Sunday and said, we will win today, no problem? Rhetorical question. No, you haven't, nor have I. Even this year, when we should have steamrolled the Aaron Rodgers-less Packers blow team, I woke up saying, this won't go the way we think it should. In all honesty, shame on me for ever believing differently. Outside of coaching, sure, there are things that can be fixed, but if you don't think we have the guys outside of one or two position groups, you don't know football or you haven't played football. Trubisky, yes, looks a little off, but he's a rookie quarterback with bad play calling. Don't give up on this guy. If you have, that's ridiculous. We get Cam Meredith next year, and now what I believe is a solid number 2 or 3 receiver in Inman on a playoff team for next year. Howard and Cohen are monsters. You tell me a fan or a coach wouldn't swap their 2 best running backs for these guys? I'll wait. My point is that this is a better team than most understand or believe. Just like the Three Doors Down song in 2000, John Fox, you are our Bears kryptonite. Very well done, Brandon. Thank you for those words. And
my
Phil,
boy Wolf.
Yeah, he really brought it there. He really brought
it.
Now, let me ask you about Isaiah's question. You think that the Bears are in danger of losing their fan base because of what's going on with this organization?
No, I know that this is the middle of the seesaw. They know they have the power because it's an addiction for the passionate fan. It's also America's game, and it's such a popular sport, and there's always the remedy of winning and change that brings hope. I mean, think about the hope you had going into this season and really ultimately where it spun out of control. If you are a loyal listener to this podcast throughout the summer and the early part, we talked about this. It's not new to us. This is true to us. And as we've picked up loyal listeners and it's like a family. I don't see the Chicago Bears losing the fans. I feel like they're losing the fans in the stadium, yes, because the product is a showcase of the head coach, and people aren't going to show up. And that's the best way to use other than the social media power that is now. Your voice is to not go to the games, or if you're going to go, somebody could print Aldo the giant Firefox sign like our boy had out from Arizona and brought to Philadelphia. I wanted to shout him out. I forgot his Twitter handle. But yeah, Isaiah, I tell all fans, as bad as I've watched every snap every year in the good times and bad, it's not going to get me away. My voice now has a place with the gangly motley crew that we have at Bears Barroom, that they hear us. Trust me. Let me tell you quickly, side story. There's people at Hallis Hall that religiously listen to this show and the Bears Barroom because we are telling it like it is. It's been confirmed to me. So that being said, we don't tiptoe around the truth because that's the whole meaning of this family. It's an intervention of the disgusting display that's put on every Sunday, but we are coming back every week. And I think the fan base will do the same. And of course, there's so many bandwagon fans. Once they turn this around, it's hard because it's so clear to see Sean McVay out with the Rams turning around a young quarterback that looked like a bust. Yep. And how quickly they've turned it around. You got to get those kind of maniacal guys in here. And if you look at my list, that's the prerequisite to get on there. As far as coaching is concerned, when I look at coaches, I look at guys that have a win at all costs, play the best, no matter where they drafted or how much money they make. Look at Marcus Wheaton, for God's sake, Aldo. He's one catch on the season and $8 million he's made. It's disgusting, but it's the reality of what's going on the football field. And that, to me, discourages a fan base as much as not allowing your best player to get the football and be a huge part of the game plan, attacking a strong and fast Philadelphia front by using your mauling muscle downhill rusher. But, that is the showcase of why you have the wrong guys there. But I don't think the fan base is going anywhere. I hope they go out of the stadium, because that will help sell the McCaskies on, you need to get a young guy in here with a strong football personality. And what is that? I praise Greg Gabriel. A lot of people don't like Greg. Well, I praise him because he says it like it is. And unfortunately for the frauds that are portraying, cover all their bases, the Aaron Lemmings and the Matt Millers of the world, guys that I know are lying and are covering their asses, they get called out by a guy that's coached and scouted and done it before. I mean, I don't know how you argue with that. You might not agree with them, but I respect guys that live by their truth and their opinions, just like myself. I try not to be harsh on anybody, but at some point I just have to call out the stupidity and the lies. It's unbearable at this point. After that loss, Aldo, the fan base, we're going down the hill again. As I said, the crap rolls down the hill. We're going down. We need to have this special place where you guys can come in, vent, get it all out, and then really get back on the right track. And I think that's where we are right now.
Phil, Isaiah asks, why is Ryan Pace always going for the reach player instead of going for more of a sure thing? He does it with the rookies when drafting and in free agency. He's listed a couple of examples here in the chat room. And it also gets a little bit to the point that Chris Armstrong wrote about in her feature that she posted last night, and it's still up at bearsbarroom.com. She writes a feature after every Bears game where she started saying now it's time to maybe, start blaming Ryan Pace, mainly because not his player personnel decisions, but because he hasn't pulled the trigger on firing John Fox. So I think the big, broad, overall question for you, Phil, is can you give us a quick evaluation of General Manager Ryan Pace?
Well, I'm on the record. I was not a Leonard Floyd guy. I wanted Laramie Tunsil, and then I would have came back and got Noah Spence in the second round or traded up to get this football player. I don't have to agree with everything. I'm not right about everything. Obviously, I would have taken Deshaun Watson at 3. Maybe he would have got hurt and we would regress back and give John Fox another season because he'd have an excuse. I don't know. I don't have those answers of hypotheticals. But when you look at Ryan Pace's track record, there is some validity in the box there, as Isaiah's talking about. McPhee, a couple of injuries or whatever. But like I said, it's tit for tat on the seesaw in the middle because Jordan Howard was a hit. You look at Cody Whitehair, he's, if not the best center, the top 3 centers in the NFL. You all know how I feel about him. Akeem Hicks was a great signing. There's players here that have an opportunity to really showcase, and then there's not. And that's unfortunately that's the process. The real showcase of Ryan Pace is going to be now. And right now, I'm on the side of being negative on Ryan Pace for not firing this coach after the Green Bay game. That was the time. It needed to be sent, the message to the locker room and the team, because you have an opportunity to turn around your season at that point, and really ultimately you dropped the ball, and it was disgustingly dropped. Now you had another disgusting loss, and you still don't do it. So to me, that's where I'm critical of Ryan Pace. As far as his ability to recognize and analyze talent, it's unfortunately Leonard Floyd got injured in the Detroit game. I thought that was his best game I've seen him play. He was physical, fighting through blockers to make plays on the ball. And I hadn't seen him play like that. So typical Bear fashion, the guy gets hurt and is done for the year in that moment. And then ultimately You are where you are. He has to show the move of all moves. It's the most important position on the football team now that you got Trubisky. Obviously, the quarterback positionally is the most head football coach. People go, oh, you need a good play coach. The head coach has to be, it's the key. Trust me when I tell you. I lived it my whole life around a head coach and my dad. And then being one myself. It is important. So much so, it's the measurement now of who Ryan Pace is and who he's going to be, because this is it. He's got the quarterback now. Now he's going to have to get the opportunity to hire his coach. Right now he's starting off on the negative side to me in not firing John Fox already.
Phil, I'm going to add Shayne in. I believe he is available to chat with us, so we should be hearing his phone ring here shortly, and hopefully he'll join us and we won't have a technical difficulty. If we do, the Barflies will forgive. Shayne Marsaw, are you there? If you are, speak with your very mouth.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Hey,
The
brother.
smartest. Deliver the mail. For Isaiah.
Go ahead, Phil.
How you doing, Shayne, tonight?
I'm doing a little sleepy, but
Were you helping Driscola put up his Christmas lights? Is that what you were?
no, I wasn't.
Well, Shayne, I got a feeling you've been listening in, and if so, what do you want to chip in with? We're dying to hear your thoughts about the game, or about the fact that Fox is still employed, or get your thoughts on Ryan Pace and how he's doing as the general manager. Phil just shared his thoughts on that.
Well, I definitely don't want to talk about the game.
That must have been very painful for you.
Yeah. No, I tuned in right when Phil was talking about, putting Pace up at the podium and wanting the right questions to be asked to him. And it is, he made a great point with that. But I also think at the same time, we have to put the media on blast, because we all tune in to these post-game press conferences and these daily press conferences, and the media themselves really give these guys a pass. I mean, even at this point, we're all questioning John Fox and his ability to throw the challenge flag. And do any of us know who's in charge upstairs in the booth to tell John Fox to throw the flag? I've never heard anybody in the media specifically hammer that home. And
it's a great point. It should be asked.
Get to the bottom of it to see who that is, and put that person on blast or remove them from that role. But I think I think the Chicago media themselves have to ask better questions. And if John Fox is going to stand up there like he does most days and hems and haws and does all that, well, ask the question again, phrase it a little bit different, and keep on hammering it home. If it takes you to the next press conference the next day, keep on firing away, because guys, you cannot sit here and see John Fox and say that the guy's not a dead man walking. You can,
absolutely.
You see the stress on his face every time he's talking. And I think it was Mark Potash asked him, a question, and John Fox is like, that's a pretty good question. You could tell he didn't want to answer it. I forget exactly how Potty phrased it, but Fox just did his Foxisms and talked around in a circle and never really answered the question directly. But I'm more of a Pace guy than Phil is. I think everybody knows that. But Ryan Pace, like I think Phil alluded to it a little bit too, for him to go to ownership and propose this multi-million-dollar expansion to Hallis Hall, to me, that tells me that Ryan Pace is on solid footing in the building moving forward. And the way that I am looking at it is I really don't want it any other way. Because give Ryan Pace his shot to bring in his coaching staff. He's already made the commitment to go up and get Mitch Trubisky. So that's his guy. After this next coaching staff is hired, guys, from day one, the bullseye is on nobody's forehead but the general manager, and that's exactly where it should be.
Exactly.
Put Ryan Pace on blast. I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke and just say Ryan Pace is good because I don't want to go through a change. It's not that. You can't sit here and tell me that if the Chicago Bears had Cam Meredith, and I know Kevin White is a complete unknown, but you know what? He's a better wide receiver than Josh Bellamy. I'm just, Zach Miller's out there. If Leonard Floyd is out there, Jarrell Freeman with the PEDs, he's still a good linebacker. Danny Trevathan, Josh Sitton's banged up. You're getting a 60% of Kyle Long. All of these guys that are banged, all these guys are going to make a difference moving forward. These
Mike
are guys.
Burton.
Yeah, Mike Burton, exactly. The one and only. But I get this angst from Bears fans. I really do. And I see, you can see it on Twitter today, and it's doing, Jesus, there's people out there calling for Trubisky's head.
That's ridiculous.
Mitch Trubisky didn't play well yesterday, but he's an inexperienced rookie quarterback. We all knew that.
Did his teammates help him out?
No, not at all.
It's a team game, and did his offensive coordinator help him out?
Not at all.
That's the problem, guys. That's what this show's about, Shane. This is about the truth. He wasn't helped. Anyone talking about Mitch Trubisky needs to be benched. They should be fired with Fox. The blog, get the blog the frig out. All right.
Uh-oh, you almost went 100 proof on us there.
I didn't want to go there. But, that whole moniker of, and I know I'm jumping in here, but they didn't fire Trestman, so they're not going to fire Fox. Dusty brought it up earlier. That's not business. You see, that's the whole reason why you should do it, because it didn't work the last time you didn't do it. You just kept losing, and you kept negative energy in the locker room. It matters. So that's where my issue is with Ryan Pace. I can disagree with some of the pickups and what have you, but he's also made some great signings and great draft picks. You can't deny that. So to me, we're at the point where the cream always rises to the top, so does the crap. So, and right now, it's clearly a coaching issue that's hindering this football team on Sundays, and especially the young quarterback, because guess what? If your guard or your tackle are playing half-assed, it's going to affect the running game, the passing game, and the quarterback. It's all why it's the greatest team sport in the world, because you need everybody to be successful. There's not many Tom Brady's in this world. So Mitch Trubisky is the least of my concerns when it comes to the Bears.
Hey, guys, I want to offer a few thoughts about this Ryan Pace issue. During the offseason, he has to, and I guess I'll prioritize these as best as I can. Number one, he has to hire the coach. Money cannot be an object. For those fans who say, well, he's not going to get rid of John Fox because the Chicago Bears won't let Fox get away with money left on his contract, over $4 million. That's BS. They did it with Lovie Smith. They did it with Mark Trestman. Those are considered parachute payments to these coaches. They go away. They don't badmouth the organization. You give them the money, and they go away. It's done all the time. I think this narrative that the Bears are cheap, that's long ago been disproven. So we just need to get off of that and now focus on helping Ryan Pace select the right coach. We need to find out who our favorites are, talk about them on social media, let them know, and not let Ryan Pace do what the people in the chat room have been saying, reach for somebody who is, not really suitable for the job. He's got to find a coach that can also lure quality assistant coaches and during free agency lure quality players. Number 2, Ryan Pace has got to get this training staff and medical team crap together. We are seeing too many injuries, and yes, it's an NFL problem, but there's no reason why the Chicago Bears should not be leading the league, leading the NFL in finding solutions to the epidemic of injuries that are hitting football teams. And then number 3, the third and final priority for Ryan Pace this season is he's got to give Trubisky the weapons, and that includes the coaching staff, that includes the players starting up front at the offensive line, and that goes to the receiving weapons and so forth. I know Shayne has called this upcoming year the year of the receiver, and I totally agree with that, but he needs more than just a quality receiver, because we've seen what happens when you have just an Alshon Jeffrey on the team, or we've seen other teams just have one quality receiver. If you don't have the protection for the quarterback, then he's going to die out there. If you don't have the right offensive scheme, the right people calling the plays, the right coaches and stuff. So all of that has to come together. And Ryan Pace, I hope that he does stick around for the next 3+ years and he gets this correct, because this problem really isn't as dire as this one loss record looks. The badness on the team has been amplified by the poor coaching, by a head coach who is, as Shayne says, a dead man walking, who the game has passed him by, as somebody said on the chat room, who is just not capable of being a leader anymore. The time has passed. I wrote in the chat room earlier that when he won with Carolina, that was back in the day where you could win with a great defense and an average quarterback. You can't do that in the NFL as easily as back then. You need great quarterback play because the rules have changed so much that it's become a passing league, and so you need a Mitch Trubisky to perform at his highest level. So, that's my rant for the show, and I apologize I did it on your show, Phil. You're the man with the rants. But I had to get that off my chest.
Rant on my show.
Hey, Aldo, can I add a number 4 to the list?
Please do.
No soup for you.
Yeah, can Ryan? We need to get a new garbage man at Hallis Hall too. Obviously.
A dumpster fire.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what annoyed me? They're talking about this disgusting smell at Hallis Hall, and they said that sushi was left there over the Thanksgiving holiday. Well, this is in season, and the when Hallis Hall or any football office is a 24-hour-a-day operation. That kind of caught me off guard when they said that was left there and overlooked over the Thanksgiving holiday. Mm-hmm. Well, why aren't people at Hallis Hall? Just because it's Thanksgiving? Was it really locked up and nobody was there?
Fox sent everybody home.
Yeah, but maybe it sounds petty, but Phil, this is a 24/7, 365 business.
Well, and we've heard before how a head coach can change the culture, change the energy at a team headquarters facility. And I think perhaps what's going on at Hallis Hall is that everybody is depressed. Everybody's down in the dumpers. As Dustin pointed out, and we read on Twitter, there was a fight going on between some players.
We got to talk about that. That's a sign right there.
That's a huge sign that things are going poorly in this organization. And it's another, in my opinion, if Ryan Pace is being told by management, please fire him at the end of the year. Let's not do this. It's not part of our culture. Ryan Pace, I hope then, is doing due diligence and saying, here's why I think we should fire him, because people aren't showing up anymore. We're losing part of the fan base because the morale is getting lower and lower. And for the new head coach, it's going to be harder to bring these guys back, the key guys, the guys that we're going to be depending on for the next few years, because the development of the quarterback is being hurt, and on and on and on. I hope that if Ryan Pace was denied making this head coaching change, that he at least went down fighting. And I wish that we had a reporting crew, a media team in Chicago that would ask those questions to Ryan Pace. What do you think about the head coaching? Have you talked to management about it and really press and get some sources within Halas Hall who are giving us the scoop as to what's really going on? Because we passionate Bears fans deserve answers. We deserve, we still have a lot of hope for this team, but we're not getting it from Halas Hall. We're not getting it from the general manager. We're not getting it from anybody over there. We're making it up ourselves based on what we see and what we know as true blue Bears fans and analysts. We know that there's hope there, but we're not getting it from people at Halas Hall, and that to me is awful. That has to happen.
Well, anytime you have the energy, people joke about it. I talk about it a lot. As a spiritual guy, I talk about energy, and I believe it's felt. You could see it on display with the players' effort and performance on Sunday. You could see it, what's transpiring in the locker room and the excuses and the finger pointing. All of that stuff transpires. Benny Cunningham talking about competitors. Well, how about be competitive on a Sunday, not in the locker room? That would be my message to you guys. Just the head coach is hindering this football team from being successful. Anytime you have some nerd penny counter up top telling you what you can and cannot do when it comes to this physical, collision sport, then you got problems. That's why certain coaches wouldn't coach. John Gruden wouldn't come to Chicago knowing that there's going to be mingling in regards to the bloodline of what it is. What is this? It's football. It's not making money for that comes with winning. The Patriots, if you've never been to their stadium, I went there as a little kid to watch the great Walter Payton play. I saw Doug Flutie play for the Bears in the stadium. And then to go back there now, and they literally have a casino, a mall, they got everything imaginable going on at their stadium. You can go there and ride a freaking roller coaster, for God's sake, because they win. So they could do whatever they want because everybody's going to go there. And that's the remedy. They have football blood in what Bill Belichick wants. Parcells always talks about buying the groceries that he wanted to buy because he was a football guy. You're going to make mistakes, but at least as you sit down what kind of player you want on your football team. This head coach, think about this, guys. What was it, 24-0 in the game, and you're competing and what have you, and you decide to line up and kick a field goal. To me, that's the showcase of where you're going with this guy. Nowhere. I want a guy that's going to try to score a touchdown, not kick a field goal to keep a shutout, to not have that on his resume. That's what that is. And that's a loser's mentality. And you go looking back at that football game, I mean, the timeout we talked about. How about the non-challenge of a fourth down play where Philadelphia smartly runs up to the line of scrimmage because they knew it was short. So Shayne's completely onto something. This coach, whoever it is watching the replay, is an intricate part to Sundays in a game that requires replay and situational football. You follow me? So now it's become an extension or a position on the field to watch the television copy that's a delay of, 20-second delay? So they should get it live, a live feed in the stadium, and watch it and recognize, wait, we got a close play here, coach. I'm going to tell you right now, the assistant, let me see. And then I get another angle because I have control of that up there, apparently. The technology gives them angles. Yeah, we need to challenge this. And it gets challenged immediately. So Philadelphia doesn't go up there and run a play to give themselves a critical play. It sets up a 4th down and they're punting. Instead, they drive down and score another touchdown and diminish your whole team. You got to have that fighter's mentality. John Fox and the company have checked out. The whole game plan itself, Dow Loggins today should be sitting there really himself looking in the mirror and thinking of what kind of game plan you came in there. Because you're talking about getting Jordan Howard. We got to get Jordan Howard. We got to get Shaheen. We got to do that. You talk a talk, but you never walk a walk. Every time someone steps forward, a McBride, Shaheen, Jordan Howard in the pack, all of a sudden they become forgotten in the next. Let you dictate what's going to be stopped and what isn't. Instead, you're allowing someone else to dictate it, and they said it themselves. And that's why this staff should be gone. There's no reason why this staff should be coaching against the Niners this Sunday, which they'll lose again. And it's sad.
It really is sad. I'm going to read some comments here from our folks in the chat room. Nick Kurt says he's going to volunteer to go become a Bears beat reporter for the Barroom. He's going to go in and ask all the tough questions. Dustin says, hi, Sean. And Bob Phelan writes, Shane, Dustin is getting a chubby hearing your voice.
And that's where I sign off.
Brandon says that the problem is we have cap space and money to blow, but who the hell wants to play here? That's an interesting thought. We have been awful, maybe wide receivers like Howard and Trubisky. That's our only hope. So my response to that, Brandon, is that's where the new coach comes in. That's where, a revitalized organization comes in. And then if you land one big free agent, others will follow. And people also want to play for a promising quarterback, and I believe we have one. Shane, you had a thought?
Yeah, and let's not forget the biggest factor here. Money always talks.
Oh, yeah.
And I know
Cash moves everything around.
Eric Lambert may not believe that and think that it's based on the 2018 schedule, but money always talks. And you really hit on it right there, Aldo. You see these games every single week where like Kevin Fishbane has been going to the visitors' locker room and asking the other team about what they thought of Mitch Trubisky. And they're not going to come right out and be completely negative against the guy, but there's been a lot of positive feedback. Malcolm Jenkins had some good things to say about him, and multiple other teams so far. And that's just stuff like that spreads around the league, and they know if you have a young quarterback, more times than not, you're going to be going places, and people want to play with a young quarterback and grow with them. You saw Alshon run to Philly to be with Wentz that way, and at the end of the day, $70 million in cap space, money shouldn't be an issue at all.
You really got to come out swinging if your pace and knowing. Obviously, the coach that comes in is going to have to be heavily involved in what players and what have you, those relationships, if he's bringing players from where he was and what have you. But the philosophy really is going to be aggressively supporting Mitch.
And let's not overlook the fact that, like what I brought up when I first called in here tonight, this bullseye is going to be completely on Ryan Pace's forehead. The difference now is Ryan Pace is going to be making the moves to benefit his quarterback. He's not doing this to benefit Jay Cutler, who was never his guy, or Matt Barkley or Brian Hoyer or whomever. This is Mitch Trubisky. This is really Ryan Pace's career. This is the guy that he's attached at the hip with. And if it's going to cost a few extra $1 million to secure a talent to bring in to help Trubisky out, Ryan Pace is going to make that move where you saw him be a little bit gun shy when we all wanted Stephon Gilmore, and thank God we didn't make that mistake. And we see, Ricky Wagner, Mike Brez's boy, how he's going to lock down the right side while he's a turnstile. So good thing that we lost out on that guy too. But this is where you're going to see, and we all know, unfortunately, we know how free agency is a minefield, but you can mark it down and come back and at me on Twitter when it happens. Day one, as soon as free agency opens up, you're going to see one of the big name free agent wide receivers is going to be coming to Chicago very, very quickly. As soon as, I think the league years around March 15th at 4 p.m. That's going to be the first move. It's going to be a Danny Trevathan type signing where you hear about it instantly. And, I'm sure Aaron Lemming will let us know about it 2 weeks before time, but we'll just have to wait and see.
We'll cover all of them. They really like this guy, yes, but they also like this guy.
Guys, we are well over an hour long.
That's what we do. We go in depth because the Barflies and Bears Hour Live is just bringing truth to the whole posse.
Where else are you going to get a 90-minute show that's called Bears Hour Live? Where else?
Bears Hour Live Plus.
All right, we got some announcements here. First of all, I am finishing up the Fire John Fox video, and I'm going to make one last call for Barflies who want to be included in the video to shoot a little bit of video, 5, 10, 15 seconds of them either dancing to the beat or bobbing their head up or down or just looking at the camera. And whatever you want to do, send me the video. Just hit me up on direct message at Bears Barroom, and then I'll give you the instructions on how to get the video to me. It would be really nice if we had a nice representation of as many as possible of our Barflies. We love you and would love to include you in the video. It would be, a way to celebrate our family. And Nick Kurtz in the chat room was talking about, responding to what you were saying, Phil, that this truly is a family feel. It truly feels like the bar at the end of the block in the neighborhood where people are going for a beer and talking and getting together to barbecue burgers on a weekend day, just good friends and family. So would love to see that represented in the Fire John Fox video. Also, we're planning tons of stuff in the upcoming months during the off season. We're going to be as busy as ever. We're planning on continuing with the 100 Proof show throughout the off season, so that will be a highly produced show that will give you guys tons of entertainment. We've got ideas on bringing some of you Barflies onto the show for question and answers and interacting with us. And in fact, tomorrow we have a very special Bears 100 Proof plan where we have 2 women who are Barflies. Chris Armstrong, who writes that weekly column, and Lady Loves the Bears are going to be a part of our Bears 100 Proof. They're scheduled to appear, so we're really looking forward to that, and I think that will serve as a gateway for other Barflies to join us in shows ahead. Just want to remind you that we got a Bears draft guide that we're working on for the offseason, and the plans are that in March, about 2 months before the actual draft, we will have a guide where we profile 100 to 200 players who we think would make a good fit for the Chicago Bears in one way or another. We've got tons of draft podcasts coming up as well. And I want to also tell you about something very special that Draft Dr. Phil is working on. In fact, Phil, why don't you tell them what you're working on? Because I'm super excited by this.
Well, it is a family. And
oh, yeah, it is, Phil.
There you go. And honestly, though, I can't express how much I appreciate Bears Barroom Radio Network and what Aldo, Shayne, Bears Girl, and all of our writers, Alec, Chris, Kieran, and if I'm forgetting people, I love you all. But what this product is bringing is creativity and the truth. Those two ingredients to the social media, field of what this is growing into. You Barflies are the impetus of this, and really encouraging Bears 100 Proof and Bears Hour Live and the Buffon, all of it being included in and on tap with Aldo. As Aldo says, we're bringing 2 female analysts on tomorrow to talk with us and have some fun with that. There's always something. So I started, doing the raps for the show and being creative with music. And I don't even know how it happened, but it happened because Aldo and Nick went down and stood there for the Barflies in front of Waddle and Sylvie's show, and really were there. And the reaction by the fan base and Waddle and Sylvie themselves was, well, we're making a Christmas song. And they really didn't appreciate the lyrics and what the message really is about. So the kind of competitor that I am, and just being creative in this place now that Aldo and Shayne have brought me to, I took it upon myself to take up the challenge. But then I went a step further for the Barflies and for Aldo and Bears Girl and Shayne, and say, you know what? We got together as a group, and all of a sudden I said, I'm going to do a Christmas song. I'm going to make it fun, and we're going to do it, and we'll send it to Waddle and Sylvie, but we'll obviously use it for Bears 100 Proof. And then as we're talking in a group, Aldo and Bears Girl, as Aldo talks about a lot, and Shayne in this group think tank, if you will, started to get to the point where they're all having ideas for a parody song. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't we just make an album for the Bears Barroom, Barflies, and really have a whole Christmas album full of Christmas cheer in a time that is so negative, as Nick is talking about Isaiah, Robert, Sandy Tom, Mike from Dubai, George T. Ray, Wolf, B. Diddy. There's so many of you that reach out and really touch our hearts. And I said, let's do some Christmas songs. I'll use my talent and creative lyric writing and come up with some fun stuff. And then Shayne and Aldo came up with songs, and I'm going to record them all. And we have made a Christmas LP that is just full of fun, cheer, and laughter, all under the guides of this football team that drives us crazy, makes us cry, makes us happy, makes us sad. And really, I tried to encompass all of the key players, Aldo, into the songs. And I thank Shayne and Bears Girl and you for bringing up some of the titles and ideas of which songs to do. And really, 22, my favorite number. I've worn that number in every sport and everything I've done. 22 songs we're going to bring to the Bears Barroom, full of Christmas Chicago Bear cheer and bliss and harmony. And I did my best with these songs, so I hope you love them. It'll be fun, as I love like the little things in songs, and people always have their quirks and things that they like. I like this song. I liked Bear Up and Bear Down. People love that song. Other people love Fire Fa. Other people love The Truth. So with this, it's going to be fun to see how the fan base interacts. And really, just sitting here talking, I think we should let them decide which song or songs we should send over to Waddle and Sylvie and represent the family.
No, that's a good idea.
You're the godfather, Aldo.
Me?
Never disrespect the family. So why don't the family... I'm finishing up all the songs. I thought it was going to take me 2 weeks to write all these songs. It took me 2 days because I was so much having fun with my colleagues at Bears Barroom and you guys. Tonight, we're going to unveil a teaser, one of the songs, and let one of the first songs I really worked on for this show. And I know I'm giving you the long answer, but it's Bears Hour live and a half, for God's sake. So.
That's one of your shorter responses, Phil. What are you talking about?
I love you guys, and really, this has been a hard season to watch. But like I said, it's given us so much to be creative and have fun about. And if you can't laugh at yourself, as I'm the brunt of most of Shayne's jokes, and I laugh because I don't care. That's why I don't take it
brunt,
serious.
Phil. Not brunt, runt.
Exactly. See, but I can laugh at it because it's fun. It's good. That's why I try to interact. I'm always coming from that humorous place until I let you know I get fired up. You know when I'm fired up, and then you'll know. But really, my interactions with people are just from a humorous place. I really appreciate the feedback and the fun. But I'm a competitive guy, and when Sylvie and his little nerd boy producer over there were trying to talk shit, I said, you know what? It's challenge accepted. I'm going to write a Christmas song that you're never going to forget. And not only that, I wrote 22 now. And we are going to have some fun with the Bears Barroom. Aldo hasn't even heard any of these songs until tonight. Only one, but...
That is true. I've been a little bit busy, and they've been hitting my Dropbox inbox like crazy. I'm like, holy cow, I got another one. Holy cow, here's another one. Holy cow, here's another one.
It's so funny because I'm trying to find time. You have 2 kids, 2 twins, boys. I have 4 kids, but 3.5 years old. Parents out there know I'm trying to find time to do all these things. And you need a quiet atmosphere to record these songs because obviously I literally recorded 2 songs at my lunch break at work today in my car. That's how much I love Bears Barroom. There's going to be stories, hopefully when I pass away, that could carry on and be shared with my family.
Holy shit.
It's funny.
Wrap it up, Phil.
It turned into a eulogy. Phil is now giving his own eulogy as he's introducing a Christmas song. All right, let me play some of this. Here it comes at you. Oh, my gosh. When I listened to this, Phil, I started to melt. I really did. Tears to my eyes. This is called Old Football Town of Chicago.
At the bottom, looking up. Old football town of Chicago, where the Bears, they play their games. They used to be called the Midway Monsters, now they call them a joke again. Oh, Chicago Bears, 3 years has been too long. This coaching staff is always Chicago, a football city you proclaim. There is an arrogant football coach who's won only 3 division games. Oh, Chicago Bears, the playoffs you've been won. There is one answer to this mess. Ryan Pace, bring Harbaugh home. Oh, Ryan Pace, Ryan Pace, Ryan Pace, bring Harbaugh home.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, man. Well, let me read some of the responses we're getting in the chat room regarding the song. First of all, Shayne started things off by asking everybody to raise their lighters. Isaiah says that he loves it. Brandon says super dope. Shayne says, well, if you don't have a lighter, all you millennials out there, raise your cell phones. Bob Phelan says, this is awesome. I can't wait for the wife to ask me to play Christmas music and I start blasting this. Bears AJ say, this is so good. Those are some of the comments that we're getting. And boy, oh boy, we cannot wait to listen to the other 21 songs. You got a total of 22, correct, Phil?
That's it, 22, the number. I don't know how we should do this because we haven't brainstormed. Should we reveal a song a day in December?
That's a good idea. What is it? What is it that 21 days of Christmas or 21 songs of Christmas? We reveal one a day.
Yeah, you can release a song a day up to the Cleveland game on Christmas Eve day.
There you go.
I love it.
However we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it because some of the titles are. Shayne came up with some that are so great, and Aldo came up with some, and it is so. I'm proud of it because when you're recording it, you get to hear it. And then when you hear it so much, you really don't know what you have. But today at work, I unveiled this song and the response was like the Bears Barroom. And I'm proud of it. I never did all the parts. I had to do the tenor, the mid and the low and the bass. And it was fun doing it. A lot of work put in the lyrics. I mean, there's so many Easter eggs in the lyrics. It's just obviously bring Harbaugh home at the end. But if you hear it and listen to it, I'm sure Aldo will put it on the SoundCloud tomorrow and start promoting probably the only, they'll copy it, I'm sure, but the only podcast website that's going to have their own album of Chicago Bears Christmas songs.
Yeah, don't give the Bears brothers any ideas. They'll charge $75 to write a song about you.
Listen, I'm going to charge $90 a head if you want me to put you in a lyric of my song, for God's sake. That's the Bears brothers.
Yeah, that's their little scheme over there. They sell shout-outs. We don't do that here. We
do that for free because we love you.
That's right. Hey, Phil, before we close the show, I got to tell you that I am a little bit disappointed that you didn't include one of my ideas for the song in your album, and that was the takeoff on the White Christmas song called Snow. So I'm going to sing a little bit here for your listeners and see what they think of it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Win. It won't be long before the Bears begin to win. Just fire Foss because he's an effing has-been. How do you like it so far?
Listen, don't sell yourself short.
All right,
I know I'm short, but you did write one of the songs on the album, and I'm not going to reveal it.
Oh, yeah, don't reveal
which one.
That's right.
But one of the songs is totally written by Aldo Gandia, and I will perform it. So it'll be a surprise.
Yep. dedicated to all our female listeners. Heidi Zimmerman is joining us. Is this the first time Heidi's been on the chat room?
My cousin?
Heidi, is she your cousin?
No, I just call her that, cousin. You got to be from New Haven, Connecticut to know everybody's your cousin. That's
All right, I had some closing theme song music here, but I can't find it. So should we? You want to sing us out, Phil?
I don't want to ruin any of the songs. I mean,
no, here we go.
What do you want me to sing?
No, please don't. All right, we always end the show by reading some of the comments on the chat room. Boy, it had so many. I already read so many good ones.
Great show.
Yeah, great job, Phil, with these songs. Everybody's super excited. We're going to listen to it. I think we should unveil another one tomorrow when we record Bears 100 Proof. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Maybe we should do 2 tomorrow. I don't know. Let's brainstorm this. Yeah. Maybe some of the Barflies can jump in.
Oh, they're definitely going to give us some ideas. Shane, what do you think?
Put them out there. Should we drop the whole album like Jay-Z one day?
Ooh.
No, they can't handle that.
No, yeah. You gotta, dude like us Latin lovers, you tease, and then you can't do anything because you got blue balls.
I think we gave them a little bit of taste, and then we release one all the way up until Christmas Eve Day.
I love that idea. I love it.
All right. Maybe I'll take Aldo's song and make a bonus hidden track.
Ooh, I love that. All right, John Fox, also known as Bears AJ, he wrote earlier, Pace coughed up a John Fox virus and it has grown. Isaiah Robles is letting us know that his mom is a Patriots fan now because she said she got tired of watching the Bears lose. And Isaiah's mom and my mom should get together. My mom will be effing John Fox all over the place while Isaiah's mom is telling her to be quiet because she wants to watch the Patriots win another game. Dustin Padilla says that Eric Lambert and Aaron Lemming are brothers separated at birth. People in the chat room are wondering why Heidi is being so quiet and not joining in the conversation. Heidi, come on out, say hi. Shane wanted to know that when I sing, you guys should hit the SAP button if you want to understand my song. Isaiah Robles says Will DeWitt can suck it. Who is Will DeWitt? I don't know who that is.
He's the one with the horse teeth from the Bears Brothers.
Oh,
is that rude? I forgot this is a family show.
Well, horse tooth jackass.
Oh, let's see. Brandon writes, I'd rather die in a fire than lose to the Browns. But as I said in my article, would that be any kind of a surprise if we lost to Browns? Yeah, at this point, I expect, losses all the way around. Starting the 5th in a row will be Sunday against the 49ers. I totally expect that. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe I'm going out there to watch that. But got to do it for the Barflies.
Could somebody help Aldo get that giant Firefox and Semlin?
No, I don't want to carry that thing.
I need you to carry it.
I'd rather carry the boombox and play your song. That'd be better.
Aldo,
what would be great if you got the PA guy to sing.
No. Listen,
in the stadium.
I got it.
Okay.
He's got to take his shirt off and have somebody paint. Take his shirt off and have somebody paint it on your chest.
Hashtag Firefox or the planet.
The Firefox logo, yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go spray paint some abs on me first, and then. Hey, Heidi just joined us and said hi. Hi, Heidi. How are you? She's doing great. All right, everybody, we got to close the show off because it's going to be Bears Hour 2 hours. All right, Phil, you always get the final word because it's your show. Go for it.
Well, I just got to thank all of you jumping in the chat room, the loyal listeners all around the world, taking their time out to go in there and really bring Aldo some questions and comments. And really, you're the life source of this show, as well as Bears 100 Proof, and we love you for that. I'm excited about the Christmas CD that we're putting together for Bears Barroom. I hope you all will reach out and let us know what you think and what your favorite stuff is. And I appreciate the show tonight. It's a great time, and we're going to be back doing it every week, win or lose. We're bringing laughter and therapy to the Bears fan.
There you go. Laughter and therapy. I love it. All right, everybody, make sure you check your podcast stream. This will be up in an hour or two. If you want to hear it over again or share it with your friends, please do. And don't forget also that Bears 100 Proof hits your podcast stream Wednesday morning. Buffon 55. Firefox video. I think it's going to be out Wednesday morning as well.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, and I'd love to see some video from our Barflies. The more the merrier.
Send it in. Get in there. I want to see you in my video.
If not, I'm going to find you guys on Facebook and post your most embarrassing pictures and put them in the video. That would be cool.
Aldo, are you going to put the Christmas song on the website, like a SoundCloud for these guys?
Absolutely. That'll
Getting
be up.
Some DMs.
That'll Isaiah writes Aldo wants porno. Yeah, that will be the Christmas song, the first one that you heard today. That will be up on the SoundCloud, so you can listen to that on your way to work over and over and over again, and share it with the people you work with, because it'll get everybody in the Christmas spirit, and also let everybody know how we feel about Chicago football right now. All right, everybody. Phil likes to say this with me sometimes. Phil, why don't you say it along with me? Remember, if you drink, please do not drive, and always
drive bear down.
Shane, you got something to say?
Yeah, get that extension drawn up for John Fox. Oh, wait. I'm kidding.
Remember when the Bears blog was mad at us 3 weeks ago for saying he needed to be fired? Has anyone, Jeffrey Hughes, have you changed your tune? I mean, call yourself a hypocrite all you want, but wow.
He's promoting breaking news tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
He's just trying to get confirmation, Phil. So
he's working his leads.